What is happening, trainers? We have a new Pokemon Horizons arc on the way, so I wanted to look back at the first arc and do a tier list of all 25 episodes. So let's get into it. The tiers are as followed. We got the Arceus level God tier classics. Now, these are the episodes that are unanimously liked across the fandom. No debate. Peak anipoke is those episodes that as soon as they dropped, it's trending. We've got memes. It's a fire story. And you can always come back and rewatch. All right, we're getting into dangerous territory. HM Slaves. These are the episodes that you just kind of get through. You don't hate them. They have utility, but very middle of the road, I would say. Mid, but watchable. Now, this one, you have one good battle. The episode kind of drags along, but there's like one redeeming quality that it has. Filler trash. The name says it all. It's hot garbage, instant skip. Not recommended. 20 minutes of wasted time. Now let's kick things off with the first episode going in the Arceus God level tier. And here's why. They did not try to recreate Ash's legacy or extend it, making Liko Ash 2.0. We got a brand new protagonist, clean slate, new personality, everything. Not to mention in the first 5 minutes with the conversation between Liko and Anne, they completely debunk the Ash is Liko's father theory, which is what I took as they are not clinging to the past. We are full sail ahead with the new anime. And they do a good job at surrounding Liko with very interesting characters. You got Anne the extrovert, you got the Rising Volt Tacklers, amazing name, and you got Armetheo, who really steals the show towards the end. The explorers do not care about battle poses. They're dropping in late night, attacking kids, trying to take pendants. This is a wild bunch. Now I have to put part 2 in peak anipoke because for the majority of this episode, Liko is MIA during major events, and I have no clue why. We do get an epic face-off between Cap and Ceruledge, but for some reason, Liko is not involved. You should not have the main protagonist in episode 2 hiding while a major battle is taking place. But I legally can't put this any lower because the battle between Cap and Ceruledge was crazy, and Sprigatito did pop off towards the end, so we're gonna leave this where it is. The first 2 episodes set the bar high, and the third episode is pretty much a Sprigatito rescue mission sprinkled in with some cute moments, but I'm gonna have to put it in the HM Slave tier. Not even a Nurse Joy appearance could save this episode. It's very much a replay of episode 2, which we see Armetheo take on Freed yet again with Pikachu and Ceruledge. One scene I want to point out is the door scene with Liko breaking in to save Sprigatito. You are not convincing me that Liko is busting down stainless steel locked doors in warehouses. I'm just not buying it. But anything to move the plot along, I mean, okay. Episode 4 is Roy's introduction, and they go complete polar opposite with our second protagonist. We meet Roy in a much more calm, island style, low stakes way versus Liko. But as far as character, Roy has so much energy on screen, and even though he doesn't know too much about Pokemon, his goals are locked in. After getting the ancient Pokeball from his grandfather who could never get it open, now getting the opportunity to travel with Liko and the Rising Volt Tacklers, it's good to see that we have one protagonist who is unsure about the future versus another that is headstrong and has a clear mission statement. Because looking back, we see how these two play off each other's strengths and weaknesses to make for some pretty good moments. But that does not keep this episode from being mid. I can appreciate character development, setting the scene, laying a foundation of characters, but you can't make it boring. Plus the Jungle Book stuff is just getting old. Iris did it. We got it in the Secrets of the Jungle movie. Roy is a solid character, but he just deserved better as far as introductions. Episode 5, we see Liko and Roy getting a lot of screen time, letting us know that these two are completely different characters, but they do have chemistry, and that was the most important thing to me. The handshaking scene with both of their partner Pokemon was very necessary to let us know that they aren't rivals and they're more of a team. But I can't put this episode any higher because there isn't too much going on. The explorers do pop in for another one-sided battle, and the Kanto Pokemon help the airship get fixed, but that's about it. I'm gonna say this right now, we did not need to spend 3 episodes on this island. Episode 6, as good as it is, seemed more like a formality. Roy got his I choose you moment and he officially joins the Rising Voltaclers, but the best moment was Shiny Rayquaza and how they showed how overpowered this thing was. Plus, it's seemingly always in a terrestrialized state, which has you more invested in Roy's story because there is no way Roy is catching a shiny Rayquaza anytime soon. Also, we get more information about the Explorers and how it is a much bigger organization than Armetheo. All that considered, episode 6 is going in peak anipoke. We knew it was coming. The filler is up next, and man, is it boring. There's a way to make a training sequence interesting, and Horizons just does not do it. If you ever look at a training montage in anime or beyond anime, there's a constant change of scenery, and with Liko and Roy being on the airship, it not only disadvantages them as trainers, it is not visually appealing to an audience. We do get confirmation that Dot, aka Gourmine, is on the airship, and that is probably the only highlight of this episode. Around the 5-minute mark, I was really just waiting for this episode to be over with. The filler continues as the Rising Voltaclers go grocery shopping. Amazing stuff. We do get a guest appearance from Anne, so it's good to see that Indigo Academy is still in play. But this episode is pretty much Liko doing chores. She catches a Gourmine live stream and Sprigatito makes funny faces. One thing I will say is you can appreciate how Sunday morning this episode feels, but yeah, there's nothing here. Okay, episode 9, we finally arrive in Paldea and meet the non-Ash father figure. They were definitely trolling having his name start with an A, I'm positive. Their relationship is odd to say the least, especially when Alex ran outside to hug Liko and she said, "Do not touch me with that paint." So we see that they aren't that close. And to make things worse, Liko overheard her dad talking to Freed about how he has second thoughts about her staying in the dormitory by herself. Thus, they sent the rescue team. I really would like them to expound on why they think she's not capable of becoming a trainer on her own and what happened in her childhood to have them come to this conclusion. Overall, Alex is a pretty good character. I think he complements Liko well. I really hope they do get more screen time later on in the series because you see a lot in him, in her, and him, and all that good stuff. Episode 10, we are back. Man, there is so much going on here. We have one of the first gym challenges in the anime from the Scarlet and Violet games, that being the Sunflora Collectathon with the grass type gym leader Bracius in Artisan. And on top of that, Nemona makes an appearance and it is very on brand. Now, Liko and Roy are still looking for Rayquaza, but it's good to see the anime kind of go back to the traditional gym battle format just for a little bit. A very fun episode in general, definitely a rewatch. I'm gonna group 11 and 12 together because Liko and Roy pretty much play Farm Simulator as they gain the trust of this giant Arbavila, I have no clue how to pronounce this Pokemon's name, who has in his possession another ancient Pokeball. This should not have been a two-parter when a Quagsire doing Rain Dance pretty much saved the forest. Now that we're about halfway through the arc, you kind of see a pattern that Horizons takes these plots and drag them for 2 and 3 episodes when it's just not needed. Episode 13. Okay, I want to show y'all something. So if you go on Bulbapedia and go to major events, they'll give you the cliff notes of what happens in this episode. So I want to let y'all check this out. Moving on. I cannot say episode 14 is filler because there is some wholesome moments in here where Roy does help a Watrin learn how to fly. So I cannot put this in filler as much as I want to because there's a whole battle sequence with Freed and Spinel, but Roy is getting all the screen time for what? And Liko gets kidnapped. This episode had so much potential. Episode 15, Ono is here and we're gonna go God tier. It was beyond creative the way that Dot and Ono set up a citywide collab to find Liko, which was a callback to her gym challenge in Scarlet and Violet. The amount of showmanship between these two is outstanding. We definitely need these two to collab more often. Dot does a face reveal and we finally see these three as the trio that they're definitely going to be later on in the series. Episode 16, we see the pendant get retrieved in an awesome battle sequence with Liko, Roy, and Dot. But what makes this so different is there is no Cap, there's no Charizard, there's no Rising Volt tacklers stepping in to handle the problem. And that alone has me ranking this episode that high. And we get some Umbreon action too. The next episode is called Special Training Time.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
This episode really felt like a movie. We get the backstory of Freed and Captain Pikachu, who was actually paired up by Liko's mother, Luca. This is how you do an introduction. You have Professor Freed, who is looking for direction and comes across this extraordinary Pikachu with these amazing abilities. They pair up alongside Molly, who is the engineer, and they form the Rising Volt Tacklers. And they explore going region to region looking for adventure. Awesome episode. I'm glad they took time to explain their backstory. This Murdoch and a Creamy episode is probably, no doubtably, the worst in the series. If you're a fan of a Creamy, this is it. But other than that, if you want to be bored for 20 minutes or fall asleep, this is the one you want to watch. I'm going to be very biased to this episode because I was not a fan of the fire type gym leader and that gym puzzle with the Vulpix in Sword and Shield. Not only does Liko and Roy lose both battles, there is just nothing going on here. The Lonely Hatena is one of the best episodes in the entire series. You get major flashbacks of Ash and Pikachu running through a storm with Liko and Hatena doing the same. But this is how you add a Pokemon to your party. Liko have not the best battle prowess, but a lot of emotional intelligence. Her and Hatena is a perfect match, as Hatena can sense the feelings of others, so this is going to be an interesting pair to watch. No battles this episode, but it's really not needed. Alright, the final four. Okay, so I'm going to group these two in the same tier, God tier, of course. The Galar Mine sequence. You've got non-stop action. You've got a legendary, the Galarian Moltres. You've got Cap running on cave walls, thunder punching, saving Liko and Roy. You've got Free. You got Charizard, Armetheo, Cerulege, Prigatito's even getting in on the action. You've got Liko finally choosing her path. We even get a Lucas flashback, who is the ancient adventurer, who is the original OT of these powerful Pokemon. These episodes are just packed to the brim with action, and you love to see it. Let's talk about Diana and how they fumbled her intro so bad. We're being told that this pendant, which has caused so much trouble up to this point, was found in an attic by Liko's grandmother, alongside a book or journal by Lucas, and that's what caused her to travel the world on various adventures and whatnot. Now, she does have an Arcanine, so I might have to actually bump this up. She is not boring by any means, but man, she could have had a better backstory than that. It's just so one-dimensional. Now, with the last episode being the closing of the arc, it definitely is top tier for sure. The fight between Charizard and Cerulege, and how Cerulege's weak armor ability activates, man, I really could watch these two fight every episode, to be honest. Also, we get Sango and Onyx making an appearance, but Cap putting that to an end real quick. But the bow on top this episode was the reveal of Lucas's full team. How they're gonna catch an Entei, I have no clue, but I am dying to see how. The first arc in general was solid, not perfect, but pretty good. But I would love to know what y'all think in the comment section. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.